The destruction of Earth 818's past sets the stage for a world twisted into a prison ruled by the Black Skull. The prehistoric Avengers of this reality are wiped out by the multiversal masters of evil, leaving Odin to place a final enchantment on his hammer before dying. His dream of humanity rising alongside the gods is cut short, but his last act ensures the future will not be without a chance for vengeance. In the present of Earth 818, Tony Stark survives as Ant-Man, scavenging forbidden relics of the prehistoric age. Among his hidden collection lies Odin's hammer, still charged with vengeance. But Stark is not alone in the wastelands. He has built a small underground alliance of survivors who hold on to forbidden hope. This resistance includes alternate versions of familiar heroes: Vision, Wonder Man, Moon Knight, and most importantly, their powerhouse, the Thing. This is not the classic Ben Grimm from Earth 616. On Earth 818, the Thing's body has been reshaped and transformed by Infinity Stones. He is referred to as the Infinity Thing, a monstrous and near-divine figure bound to this shattered world. While little is yet revealed about how he came to wield such power, his presence in Stark's gathering shows the kind of weapons the Resistance has at its disposal. The Infinity Stones are carved into his very body, fused into his form, making him both a prisoner of his own strength and a symbol of what is possible in a world ruled by tyrants. Tony Stark uncovers proof that Ghost Riders exist in his world. To his allies, this is more than a miracle. It is the first spark of hope in an age where hope itself is outlawed. We see Robbie Reyes and his brutal imprisonment at the hands of the Black Skull. Robbie endures torture and nearly breaks. The resistance of Earth 818 moves from whispers in the shadows to open rebellion. Tony Stark infiltrates the Black Skull's fortress to free Robbie Reyes, but the mission spirals into chaos as war machines flood the skies and multiversal Red Skulls begin to converge. While most of the action unfolds within the Skull's dungeon, the presence of the Infinity Thing begins to reshape the story. The Avengers of Earth 818, this fractured team of survivors, vote on whether to save Robbie. Vision argues it is the only logical choice. Moon Knight says her instincts tell her the rider is essential, and Wonder Man joins in for his own reasons. But the most telling moment comes from Ben Grimm, the Infinity Thing.
The door is opening. It is time.
He rarely speaks, his mind distant and his voice sparse. But when he says the door is opening and it is time, the others know his agreement carries the weight of destiny. For him, saving Robbie is not about mercy. It is about necessity. When battle erupts, the Infinity Thing shows what he has become. While Wonder Man dives headlong into the swarm of war machines, Ben Grimm fights beside him. His stone body glows with the impossible power of the Infinity Stones, each gem fused into his form, making him more than mortal.
The door is opening. It is the time. Infinity calls. Infinity must. Infinity must be guarded. The tower must stand. All must be assembled.
Robbie Reyes drives the Black Skull into ruin and the fortress begins to collapse. Outside, the Infinity Thing still battles with unflinching calm, striking down war machines as if swatting away insects. But as portals tear open, spilling multiversal Red Skulls into Earth 818, the scope of the conflict changes again. The story shifts briefly to the distant future of New Midgard before returning to Earth 818, where the aftermath of the Black Skull's fall plays out. Thor's granddaughters, the goddesses of thunder, arrive to aid Earth 818, bringing with them seeds of hope and a reminder that this struggle is tied to something much larger across the multiverse. After Robbie Reyes, the All-Rider, banishes the Red Skulls and locks the Black Skull into endless penance, the battle winds down. The world is scarred but free. Now, it needs rebuilding. While Wonder Man fights for redemption and Tony Stark plots his next move, Infinity Thing stands as a sentinel. He does not rush to crush armies or bend the multiverse to his will. He watches, measures, and acts when it aligns with a greater necessity. For him, the war machines of Earth 818 are not the true enemy. They are distractions from a cosmic scale conflict only he perceives. Tony Stark entrusts him to remain with Wonder Man, overseeing the reconstruction of Earth 818, while the others pursue their missing allies across the multiverse.
Yeah, then I guess it's possible that I'll be coming with you. You and Simon take care of things here, Ben.
It is rebuilding time.
It sure is, pal. And I guess we'll just have to take it.
Infinity Thing is less a warrior in the trenches and more the foundation upon which Earth 818's fragile rebirth rests. His transformation has taken him beyond the brawling hero he once was. Now he embodies something larger, something timeless. A guardian bound not just to a world, but to infinity itself. If you want to see where this story goes next, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next chapter. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of Ben Grimm's transformation into the Infinity Thing? Is he a savior, or is he something more dangerous? Until next time, thwip it and stay cosmic.